Unstable transmission. All right, hang on, Patriots, while we find a sweet spot. I think all we got to do is just there we go. There we go. Hi, Hilda. Hi, Patriot Roy D. Cora. Got me on the watermark. All right, looks like we got some sketchy transmission here. Got a couple of J6 updates. Haven't done one in a couple of days. So let me get my notes. How you all doing? Can you all believe it? Okay, Smalley. You don't got to say it 4 times, man. Isn't that the newest YouTube glitch? Is you go to type a chat and it goes off like 4 times, man. That's crazy, man. All right, so we're broadcasting out of the Astro Van Studios. And since I'm in DC right now, I'm in troll land, so I'm at an undisclosed location. Back home, back in the rest of America, you can tell people where you are. But here in the trolls, you just can't tell. You can't tell anybody where you're at. That's life with trolls, man, when you live in a city of trolls. It's crazy. So we got a bunch of, man, this still isn't that great here. Let's see about back here. Now. All right, is it coming back? There we go, we're climbing. All right, we got the chat reporting news already. Dachshund Grandma, 3 more hostages found dead in Gaza. Crazy, man. Hi, Sylvia. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being a mod. All you mods are awesome. It's a lot of work, man. It's a commitment, it's a sacrifice, but I really appreciate the mods that help out all the channels that are that we got going all over every single media in the world, right in the country right now. I'm gonna go all the way back to the 12th. May 12th was the last vigil. That was vigil number 650, I believe. And we got calls from Chris Quaglin, John George Todd, Michael Oliveris, and Jonathan Pollock. It might have been one of the last ones that we got from Jonathan Pollock, since he's in the hole right now with Joseph Hutchinson. Some kind of trouble happened there in the gulag, and those guys got thrown in the hole. These prisons, they don't know how to keep people in a peaceful situation, you know, and it's becoming obvious. That is their one job to do, by the way, and they can't do that right. But right now, Jonathan Pollock and Joseph Hutchinson are in the solitary confinement right now. We don't know why yet, but and it doesn't really matter why, but that's life in the gulag there. So the last time we heard from John George Todd, he told us that he got 6.5 years of prison. So we are well over 1,000 years of jail time, sentenced to good, upstanding, patriotic Americans for a 6-hour delay in Congress at this point on January 6, 2021. And we're all just waiting for America to stop hitting the snooze alarm on this issue. The propaganda machine does a really good job of making you disconnect from all these problems that our country is going through. And the problems that this country is going through right now is so overwhelming that it's not a surprise that I'm thinking 80% of people have disconnected from anything having to do with the government. There was a day when you didn't talk about politics, you didn't talk about religion, and those days got us exactly to this spot that we are in right now, where our three-letter agencies are going all over the world, making enemies of America, killing innocent people, making buku money for the military-industrial complex, and this has got to end. They're doing that on our name, America, on the Americans' name. They are going around causing chaos throughout the world right now, and the signs have been there all along, but we got to pay attention to them now, and this has got to end. It's very obvious that our government is not at all concerned with any of our concerns right now. So this is going to require a different approach, a different solution this time. Muddy road ahead. That's a good way to put it, Stu. Definitely, man. Ooh, all right. Let me see if I can post this here. That's good news. Paul Pelosi attacker sentenced to 30 years after Nancy urged the judge to give him a very long sentence. And everybody listens to Nancy Pelosi in the government. No wonder that she got what she wants there. It's something that they want. They get it instantly. They want a pay raise. They just vote themselves a pay raise. It happens immediately, man. If it's something we the people want, though, it takes months. It takes years. We wanted them to look at that election on January 6th. They could have done it in 10 days, looked at all the evidence. Instead, they made us all file lawsuits. Then they shot all the lawsuits down. And now it's taken 3.5 years for these court cases to go through court now. And they're coming back, yeah, there was fraud in the election, okay? So now, and at the same time, now that all these proofs are coming around that there's fraud in the election, they're charging the ex-president of the United States with inciting an insurrection, okay? So this is why it's just too much for most people to handle, all right? You got kids, you got a job, you got payments, you got a social life, God forbid you got a social life too, but they just make you disconnect, man. It's the paradigm busting method of operation for these demons that are in charge of our government right now. Yeah, for crying out loud, Sylvia, we're still waiting for the J6 videos, man. We've been screaming about this for 3.5 years. They don't do it at all. They don't care about us, so we got to go to different options. What other options do we have? That's debatable. That's the discussion I would like to be having right now on this live stream, on other live streams, while we're watching the J6 stuff go down still at the jail. Nicole got up the other night and mentioned that the 100th J6er from Pennsylvania just got arrested, okay? So we had an attorney general, a state attorney generals are the guys that should be standing up for their state citizens on these issues. Well, what happened? The guy that was the state attorney general, he let like 75 of them go through, didn't do a thing, didn't stand up for any constitutional rights for any Pennsilvanians. And what happened to him? They elected him into the governor. He is now our governor, Josh Shapiro. Okay? This guy is wicked. He didn't do his job as an attorney general. They threw him up in an election, and somehow, lo and behold, he won, And it ain't a newsflash that the elections are rigged. So this is how they're doing it, people. We got to get creative. We got to stay peaceful. And we will not become violent. We're at 1,227 days now of peaceful resistance to this. We are not starting riots. Just with the threat of Donald Trump running for president, remember the summer of love, summer of 2016, when they started riots all over the country, man. They started the George Floyd thing just because they didn't want Trump to get into office. And if that wasn't enough, it was the COVID too. They brought the COVID out and just freaked everybody out. everybody just fell into lockstep, man. They were on overload. In order to keep their job, go get a shot, wear a mask, stay at home, get a paycheck. They paid us all off, man. They paid us all off, people, to stay at home and not say anything. I didn't stay at home and not say anything. I was out protesting, but most of America, they just stayed home and took it, man. And every night, these guys are sharing Bible verses with us, man. Michael Oliveris has been sharing up to 3 chapters of Psalms every night. He started back in a couple days ago with Psalms 60 to 62. These Psalms are potent poetry for the exact scenario that we are in right now, Patriots. It has a lot to do with standing on truth, not backing down, trusting in your Lord, and just understanding that our God is protecting us, and there's no doubt about it. He is protecting us. And then, all right, our Republicans send a letter demanding answers on the mistreatment of jailed pro-lifers. There was another woman who just got sentenced to 5 or 6 years. So the J6ers aren't the only thing that's going on here. This woman brought evidence that an abortion clinic did a late-term abortion, and she brought evidence to the authorities that this abortion clinic broke the law by doing a late-term abortion. And I don't know if you've ever heard of the doctor describe what a late-term abortion is, but it is heinous. It is heinous. It's outright murder. And she got charged. She got charged. The whistleblower got charged and sentenced now to, I think it's 6 years this woman got, man. And that's in addition to the praying grandmothers that got 11 years. This is one of them instances where everybody's just trying to keep a low profile and hoping that they're not next. But this is not a good place to be in. And in the meantime, our 3-letter agencies are off all over the world making enemies of America, man. All right, and that is that act that our Congress stood up to protect abortion clinics is called the FACE Act. Thank you, Sylvia. The FACE Act has now been used 130 times against pro-life individuals, but only used 3 times against pro-abortion protesters. So Congress, as soon as they wanted to shut up this abortion opposition, they made the FACE Act and made it a felony to even come close to blocking a doorway into the thing. And then they stretched it from there. You can't be within, X amount of feet of a doorway. And that's what these praying grandmas have been incarcerated and sentenced for. And it's an outrage. It is an outrage. We got to stand up for these people. These people don't have a voice anymore. They're farmed out into the BOP system right now, and they can't have dialogues, right? So right now, we got Gator Girl, we got Sapphire Patriot are on a campaign now to get us to start writing letters to the prisoners. And that can be done. I just found out today that it's possible even to start texting them. So I want to find out everything I can about this. I would stay tuned to Gator Girl, and she's going to bring in some information on that, on how we can start supporting the J6ers, not just with monetary means, which they need a lot, and they're hurting for right now, but also emotional support with letters, and even find another way to have, conversation with them while they're in there. Because these guys are hurting. They got one guy, Peter Schwartz. Nobody wound up in the hospital after Peter Schwartz got charged, right? And he's in a maximum security prison where everybody else in that prison has not just done one murder, they've done multiple murders. And they put Peter Schwartz in there with the rest of these guys. I don't know what's going on, So it's definitely crimes against humanity. We got all these organizations in the world. The Geneva Convention, the UN is supposed to be protecting the rights of prisoners taken in war. And they're not even standing up for these guys, man. It's horrible. It's horrible. Michael Oliveris has been calling us pretty regular now, and dude's got great information every time he calls us. He wound up in some type of a fight too. I don't know the details of it. I don't know if I need to know the details of it, but he called last night also and shared more with us. Hold on a second. Yeah, Wednesday. Oh, this was Wednesday night. I didn't take notes yesterday. That's right. I was doing a live stream there. I got to go to Freedom Corner yesterday. It was awesome meeting Mickey and Nicole and Tammy and Trooper and Cherry and Katie. It's just so awesome being with these people down at Freedom Corner. And this is the devil's den right there, man. All right. If you're having any doubts about whether or not you can go out and wave a flag somewhere and start some type of a protest, we're doing it right downtown. They've been doing it for 650 days now, over 650 days. And this is where you got to stick your neck out for a little bit, man. If we don't start standing up all across this country, nothing's ever going to change. And that's the type of peaceful change, peaceful response to this corruption, this wickedness, this demonic activity that's going on in our country right now, that we need to make this nationwide, man. Every town, every courthouse, every prison should have people standing up against it once a week, once a month, something. We got to do something about it, America. Right, now, it just goes on and on and on. Sylvia says, Christian teacher fired for not refusing to use the students' correct pronouns. I mean, we're doing this to children. This is an abomination, man. And people just look the other way like this is normal. This is supposed to be happening. This is good for humanity to be talking to these kids and, confusing them about their sexuality. And man, I don't even think they should be talking about sexuality, to tell you the truth, until, middle school or something. We got that's right, man. Red Cross is evil. These NGOs, non-government organizations, are funded by governments, and they are facilitating human trafficking. How come they're called, this is how they paradigm bust you. It's called a non-government organization, NGO, yet they are funded by governments, and they are facilitating the invasion of our border and human trafficking. We've lost track of 85,000 kids that we know of here in America. And now I'm starting to hear talk that when Trump gets elected, he's going to do a mass deportation. And I'm hearing Christians say, oh, America's not going to be able to handle that. We have technology to make sure that innocent children, innocent people who truly were persecuted in their country can potentially stay here if they file for asylum. Right now, we got 20 million people here with future court dates to appear to argue their right to asylum here in America. And it's, when are these court cases going to happen? This is costing us tons of money, tons of money. It's a total chaotic mess FJB and his administration and the Democratic Party has brought onto this country. It's a stench to this country, but most people are just holding their nose and living with it. Oh, yeah, there you go, Belinda. You go to these meetings and then they ask you to leave, right? Then what do you do, Then what do you do? That's the writing on the wall is what I'm calling it now. I mean, the writing's on the wall. That route isn't going to work, okay? So we gotta get creative. We gotta just use our First Amendment right to stand up and try to bring awareness to this without blocking a highway, without breaking windows out, without vandalizing police cars like the other side does. But I got a feeling we're just going to have to stand peacefully until the next rigged election. And when Trump wins it, he's obviously going to win it, that the other side is going to start the mayhem for sure, because that's what they do. They do not peacefully stand up. They're tyrants. They're corrupt. They use their power to throw their opponents in jail. It's absolutely insane. And hopefully everything that Donald Trump is going through now with these cases all over the country is hopefully opening some eyes up to people. People are kind of aware of this more than they were 4 years ago, okay? So I'm hoping that this is working. I'm hoping that this is a plan that was in place or something. Yeah, here we go. I just read this earlier today. On top of everything else, 39 Secret Service agents demand an investigation into Marxist DEI policies. Diversity, equity, and inclusion is how we hire people now, and it makes airplane parts fall off. It makes the Secret Service turn against each other. You know, I wonder what's going to happen. I'm glad there's 39 of them standing up instead of just one or two, because you know what would happen if it was just one or two of them. That's for sure, man. Okay, and then Michael Oliveris again, Wednesday, was talking about food wisdom, okay? They are poisoning us with the food that you can buy in a supermarket. And people are assuming that if I'm buying this in a supermarket, that we got the FDA and the American Medical Association all looking out for our best interests on this food, when actually it's corporations that hired lobbyists to write the rules so that they can genetically modify a seed that will continue to grow even though you threw Roundup on it, and that Roundup ends up in the food. There's poisons in the food, people. They've said that you can make, you can put fungicides in the shredded cheese. They said that you can put all kinds of chemicals in not just food, but products that you use on your skin and your hair, your soap and toothpaste. Fluoride. Does anybody not understand the whole fluoride issue, which has been out there since the 70s? Yet try to find a tube of fluoride-free toothpaste at a regular supermarket. It's impossible. I haven't seen it yet. You got to go to a special health food store or an Amish store or make your own toothpaste. That's the best way to do it. Find out how to make your own toothpaste out of olive or coconut oil and baking soda, and even baking soda. Michael Oliveris clued me on something, man. That Arm & Hammer baking soda is not real baking soda. It's like a chemically made baking soda. You got to find, or like an organic baking soda. Now there is a company that makes it. Yeah, coconut oil and baking soda. That's right, man. And that there's other things that helps your teeth and your gums. Black walnut extract does that. Italy actually made laws about their food because their food is their culture there. Okay, so they also they're erasing American culture here, and our food culture is one of them now. Now the food culture in America is hot dogs. You know, I mean, is there a more phony artificial food than hot dogs? I mean, they're good, and you better cook them really good, but there's not good things in hot dogs. If you ever worked at a hot dog factory, you'd know all that, man. Grow your own baking soda. So I got to find out about baking soda. I've been using Arm & Hammer baking soda, but Michael Oliveris was telling us that that's not good. Food wisdom also, apple cider vinegar is another great product. Learn how to use it. Here's where YouTube comes in. All you YouTube people, there are tons and tons and tons of food and plant medicine videos on YouTube. Tucker Carlson just did an interview with the Green Bay Packers quarterback guy, and that guy was all over food for medicine issues and stuff. And there is a great resource. YouTube is a great resource for finding out about medicinal use of plants that just grow like right here, right here. There's medicine right here. There's a dock plant right there. It's curly dock right there. I mean, just from right here, looking at it for 2 seconds, there's a medicinal plant right there. There's 15 of them right there. If I look over there, I'll find 2 more medicinal plants, you know. They found hot dogs in landfills that were over 60 years old. Ooh, man. Right, salt. They've been putting iodine in it because back in the 20s or the 30s, they said people who were iodine deficient. So if you do start using like Himalayan salts or stuff, you got to watch you don't get an iodine deficiency. I mean, that can happen. And back then, science was real, you know, back in the early 20th century. And there was a purpose to put iodine in your salt. So what they don't tell you is if you're not using iodinized salt, that you might want to monitor your iodine level. Your iodine level has a lot to do with your lymph nodes and your thyroids and stuff. Another one of your systems in your body that we're just being taught to ignore, you know. Iodine will protect you from radiation too. If you're getting chemotherapy or radiation treatment for cancer right now, you better be ingesting iodine. And that's something, I have never seen iodine at any store other than the Amish food stores. And it is good to do an iodine purge every once in a while, every year or 2 or 3, you know, just to make sure you're not iodine deficient. So yeah, you can go on an iodine purge for like 30 days. There's a system, it's called Lugol's iodine, Lugol'', Lugol's iodine. And it's all on a YouTube video. There's probably 15 YouTube videos about Lugol's iodine. And then another thing with the milk, we're going through the milk thing with the raw milk. All milk has vitamin D in it right now. And there's probably a good reason why they started doing that. And then they said, we got to make a federal law about transporting milk. It has to be fortified. It has to be homogenized and pasteurized. But and now we're getting milk from cows that have been treated with hormones. And, right. You live near a nuclear plant and they gave out iodine. If you get radiation poisoning and you go to the hospital, they give you iodine. That's what it does, man. Okay, yeah, Turbo. InfoWars has good sources on a lot of different stuff there. They are definitely clued into the what should we call it? The rational science about the human body and stuff. You know, these actual doctors that studied humans that want to help humans instead of just get rich off the pharmaceutical companies. So this is the problem. I mean, we are surrounded, patriots. We're surrounded with problems. We got to stand up. We got to come up with answers to this, and standing up in unison is the answer. I mean, if 10 million people stood up, that's 3% of our population. Okay, thanks, small water guy. Right, I am not a physician. I'm just a pretty freaking healthy guy right now, and I'm 62 years old, you know. Look around. Look at photos from the 1950s at the beach, man. Now look at photos of 2020 at the beach. You will see a difference. And supposedly we're getting smarter and better. Our medical system is better. It doesn't show up when you do comparisons like that. Yes, iodine is good for water purification. It doesn't taste good, but it works. And it gets you iodine. But there is a particular way of doing that iodine purge that I was talking about. And I've done it twice now. And I believe in it, you know. I think it works. I think it works great. So, Michael Oliveris, just another J6er. This is the cross-section of America that were J6ers, man. They were patriotic, smart, family people. Most of them religious. Most of them served their country as police officers, fire departments, military. And that is the cross-section of J6ers right there. And that's why FJB and Merrick Garland and the DOJ and the FBI and the CIA and the NSA, all these agencies that we're not allowed to even look at their books and have an accounting on how they're spending the money that they get from us, are doing to us. They are persecuting us. Let's see, 2 days ago also, Mickey and Nicole were sitting in on the congressional hearings for the weaponization of the government. And a lot of information came out on that. They had Michael Cohen's attorney, his own personal attorney, just telling the Congress that Cohen is sitting on a stand there in New York just lying, man. Okay, Party Bonzo, look into the thyroid, man. There are plant medicines that if you're hypothyroid, it will, what's the hypo? Hypo means your thyroid's too high, it'll bring it down. But the same exact plant, if your thyroid is low, will bring it up. There are natural, simple ways of managing your thyroid. And when you get bad thyroid stuff, going to the American Medical Association and having a guy in a white lab coat treating you for thyroid issues is the wrong place to be going, man. Just watch a couple YouTube videos, man. I'm serious. It's as simple as that, but most people just won't do that, man. Yeah, Mama Mickey, Nicole, Ivan was in on this hearing there. And there was out of the whole country, they're having a congressional hearing on the weaponization of the government, and our Freedom Corner Patriots were half the crowd in the whole audience behind these guys. So what does that tell you, Patriots? Oh, man, still, I got to look all that stuff up, man. I remember reading about it. I don't have any thyroid issues, so I didn't do it. My mother had serious thyroid issues, and she got treated for years with the lab coat guy. Never got better. I don't know why people go to the same guy that isn't, their advice is not working for them. So, Stu, I'd have to look that up again. Just type it into YouTube. It's right there at your fingertips. Okay, and then Michael Oliveris was sharing all kinds of Bible verses with us on Wednesday. And then he was up to Psalms 69 through 72. So he's reading 3 or 4 Psalms a day, which is a great program. Get on a program to read the Psalms through, you know. Just get on a program. We got to be getting close to God, because really this is a morality problem in this country. That's how we got to where we are right now, too. This country was set up that it would work for moral people, but when you get immoral people in this country, and now they're a majority apparently, and everybody, you know, there's so much deception, and that the scriptures will tell you that's not going to be a news flash. As time progresses in this country, it's going to be like a veil of deceit. The enemy is the father of lies, is how it's worded in there, and he runs rampant. He wants to destroy people, and they lie right to our face. But at the same time, they got to tell us what they're doing. And once you understand these things, you'll see that Klaus Schwab has written a book about COVID before COVID came out, you know. But now you want to get into the basis of COVID. You got Klaus Schwab, you got Bill Gates, you got Fauci, you got Pfizer, but it goes back even before that. It goes back to the Department of Defense in 2012, that they started studying COVID back then, and then they farmed it out to other people, and then Fauci got his hands on it. That book, I know Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is not my favorite politician guy, but he wrote a book about Fauci, and in there it tells all about Fauci, what he did during the AIDS epidemic, and how that got put on us, and how everybody just disassociated themselves with it because it was the gay community, it didn't concern them. And in the meantime, he was killing people with, there was a drug that they were giving them, and it was horrible for people. The drug they were treating them with was killing people. And on and on and on. On and on it goes, man. Wednesday night, we got a call from David Dempsey, man. This dude cracks me up. I can't believe these guys are in such good spirits when they call us, too. Okay. Yes, this is a great program. Every Wednesday night, this comes out. A guy named Lupo CanCon does these great interviews with a J6er or two or associated person every week. Excellent interviews, man. So David Dempsey got on and he was doing this hilarious FJB imitation on the phone, man. I was just cracking up, man, cracking up. David Dempsey's been calling us quite a bit now, too. And in fact, since Jonathan Pollock and Joseph Hutchinson are out of the scene, they can't call us because they're in solitary now. David Dempsey and Curtis Tate have kind of picked up the banner. They're running with it. They're running the national anthem at 9 o'clock every night. And thanks for doing that, Curtis and David. David brought to our attention that Tennessee is going to make child rape punishable by death. And this is what we got to do. We got to get serious about how we treat criminals. And then we got to get serious about our prison system. We got to look into why do people bust up their knee and don't see a doctor for 6 months? Why do all the problems that Chris Quaglin's been documenting the whole time? I mean, if I was him, I'd put Chris Quaglin in charge of the Bureau of Prisons if I got elected president. And I would know that there would be serious repercussions for them, man. Okay, another Freedom Corner news. Rebecca, her channel, We the People Media, one of the awesome live streamers that is there, been there every single day for 650 days, just about. Not every single day, but many days. And she covers other topics that are happening in D.C. Drives an hour in to get to Freedom Corner every day. Drives an hour home. She's funding a lot of the stuff that we need at Freedom Corner. She brings in food for us all the time. And also just, she helped get me started with live streaming, just showing me how to do things. She has hurt her back. She has got a slipped disc right now. She was in the hospital for a while, but I talked to Young last night and he said that she's not in the hospital, but she's hurting and she needs to just stay down for a while. In the meantime, Dwight and Lily sometimes will help her out on the stream, and Young will help them out on the stream. Other fine patriots that are there when we need them. You know, they're standing up for the country, standing up to the tyranny of this J6 thing, man. Reed Christensen, this is a call to action. Reed Christensen is in FCI Forest City Low, Arkansas. Has had 2 strokes and he needs meds and he's not getting them, okay? So here's a guy, he's in his 70s. He was sentenced to, I believe, 4 years in prison for standing up against a rigged election, which is all coming out in court now that it was rigged. And Reed Christensen needs our help, all right? So if we can, make a call to action, call your Congress people, ask them. They are in charge. Congress is in charge of the Bureau of Prisons. Congress is in charge of all the federal judges. They are appointed by Congress. So we need to call our representatives and tell them to start getting real about the atrocities that are happening in the courtroom and with the prisoners that are in the prisons right now. There's been so many atrocities, but man, just Reed Christensen is in a bad spot right now. His prisoner number is 41762-509. 417-62-509. And so when you're calling your congressman, you can give him that specific number. He is in a prison called FCI, Federal Correctional Institute, Forest City Low, Arkansas. And that will tell your congressman specifically that Reed Christensen is in dire need of emergency attention and he is being denied medicine. We also got a bunch of other J6ers that are in their 70s. The abortion clinic, grandmas were in their 70s. We got that gal from Colorado that recently got arrested. The praying grandma recently got arrested. She went into the Capitol and got arrested for praying in the Capitol on January 6th, man. She's in her 70s. All right, Sylvia's got the birthday count here. So if you can, Patriots, start learning how to write letters to these guys. Everybody who writes letters to them is finding it a very rewarding experience, because the guys will write you back. And let's stay tuned into this topic now. We're going to push it for a while here so that we can get a larger group of people writing letters. The people that have been writing letters all along, God bless you. It's been an amazing sense of happiness that the prisoners have told us about over and over again when they receive letters. You can get your children to color a picture, but there's rules. You got to use, pen, color one side of the page of the paper at a time, so there is some rules. And on the Patriot Mail Project is where you can get information on a lot of that, or just watch Freedom Corner. We go over it every single night. And then there's clickable links. So while we're talking about it, you can click the link, go to the website, Patriot Mail Project, and find out. Get a person to write to. I suggest getting the people that are in your state, because now you got a connection with them. They really do, man. All right, there's the link there, Sylvia. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And our prayers are our power, Patriots. God is taking care of us. It just seems like, he could just make us all millionaires, but he doesn't, But every time we need help, it's there. It just shows up there that day. When I tried to come to DC yesterday, I jumped in the van. I turned the key, and the van didn't start. So instead of just losing my mind, I said a little prayer. I got the repair book out. I started looking at this. I watched a couple videos on YouTube and figured the problem out. All right, it took like 3 hours. I was kind of late getting to Freedom Corner, but God gave me what I needed when I needed it, and I ended up going there with something that I went to the Lord with and said, should I go to Freedom Corner or not? And I was not getting any no, don't go to Freedom Corner messages. So I was like, all right, you want me to move forward on this? I'll just trust in you and move forward, and it just happens. This is the faith that we need to have in our God. He's an awesome God. He's a powerful God. He keeps his promises. He's a covenant keeper. Brian Jackson got on the phone a couple days ago, and it was saying how some prisoners are very much in need of commissary money. A lot of people can't donate money. But really, anything helps, man. But don't, it's your decision, Patriots. It's your decision, In the Bible, there's a story about a wealthy man, and he gave the church a big donation, and he's puffing his chest out. He goes to Jesus, well, yeah, I gave $1 million to the church. And Jesus pointed to an old beggar woman that was on the street that gave the church a penny. And said she's more blessed than you, that she gave more of her what God gives her, and she gave that small amount. All right, and that's what we got to learn here. And there is messages in the scriptures that when you do that, you will be blessed 10 times, 70 times, 100 times back, and our reward is in heaven. Amen, Gloria Stomp. It's God's timing. That's true. Okay. Oh, right on, Ridgeline. B and Joe and the 5 kids. Oh, man, they were awesome. We had like Sunday school sessions there at Bunker Hill together. That's awesome, man. I hope they're doing well. Thank you for that, Ridgeline. That just lifted me up. That's awesome, man. Our children are the most important thing on this world. No doubt about it. That's why we're standing up here, man. Okay, Nicole said the DOJ is on track for doing 400 arrests this year. We're almost halfway, we're not halfway through the year yet, and they will be on track for 400 arrests. Pennsylvania, they just arrested the 100th Pennsylvania person. Certain states have more than others. And then last night at Freedom Corner, we had several phone calls. We found out that Michael Oliveris got hurt. He has got some stitches in the back of his head, a broken nose. So we're not sure what happened there. Things happen in there that we may or may not ever find out about. But the people running that prison are responsible for what happens in that prison. And let's not forget that. So, oh, they're back in Minnesota. Right on. Okay. I didn't know they were, I don't know where they're from. All I know is that they were there, standing up. They were good kids too, very well behaved, played well with other kids, you know what I mean? The older ones would take care of the younger ones. That's the way it's supposed to be, like an Amish schoolhouse, you know? Okay, in other news, during the last week, here's some of the election fraud information that has come out. In Georgia, they're doing an audit. They're having hearings or court case, whatever. I don't even know. But the fact came out that there are 380,761 ballot images that are not available. Okay, so they want to look at that election, the 2020 election down in Georgia, and they may or may not have destroyed the paper ballots because there's a rule on how long they got to keep them, and they destroyed them right when as soon as they were able to. A lot of these ballots got destroyed, but they are supposed to have electronic images of them, and all that is a thumb drive with the picture of the ballot, and they can't even produce that. They're hiding that. So there's all kinds of fraud about that coming out, and there was other things throughout the week. It just goes on and on and on. And then the fact that there's evidence of fraud now in a lot of these cases that are coming through, yet Trump is on trial for questioning the election. Never forget what they did, patriots. And furthermore, if you're a Republican, never forget what the Republicans didn't do for you. They didn't stand up for you for questioning that election. They let the Republicans stood down and did nothing, while the DOJ went in and swatted these people out of their homes at gunpoint, brought them into D.C. where they couldn't get a fair trial, where 98% Democrat jury pools, and our Republicans didn't stand up for us at all. They didn't stand up for us from the COVID issues either when that started happening. Okay, now consider this too. They put gag orders on Trump while he's in this New York trial, right? He's not allowed to talk about the case because it might thwart or sway people's opinions about this case. But remember back in the January 6th committee with the goofballs that were sitting on that, Liz Cheney, and just remembering their names is agonizing. But you know, the J6 committee that was on primetime TV, that they hired a Hollywood producer for, that they read everything off of a teleprompter, and then they destroyed evidence, they altered evidence. I mean, all the corruption just in that committee. Those people were on national television night after night on primetime telling everyone that there was an insurrection in the Capitol on January 6th, while the Oath Keepers were on trial, while the Proud Boys were on trial, while all these other people were on trial in D.C. for that. And you're telling me that now they're not going to let Trump talk about a case or a witness or a judge, yet the whole J6 committee can go on primetime television, on MSM, every single channel it was on, and lie about the fact that these patriots are insurrectionists, okay, before, during, and after their trials are happening. So if that ain't corruption, man, never forget. Not one Republican stood up and said, hey, that's odd. Hey, maybe we should gag them. You're not allowed to call them insurrectionists. And by the way, not one has been charged with insurrection yet to this day. Here's a bright spot. Reuters news service, their viewership is down 50%. I'm getting pissed off now when my news feed channels are even showing me clips of CNN or anything, man. Just because CNN and MSNBC can't believe that Michael Cohen, they're all saying this is going to blow up. I don't care what they say, man. I have not an ounce of care what MSNBC or CNN says about anything. They have lied to me so many times. They're probably lying to me now. I don't know why the news people that we watch are continually putting clips of that on there. Okay, and then there's certain issues here, man. I mean, it's one thing. I think women really, really have to stand up right now. Okay, we got this transgender thing going on, and it is hurting women. And for the last 30 years, men have been told that we can't even have an opinion on this. We can't even speak an opinion on this. So it would hurt the cause for us to even stand up. This is a fight for women only, okay? If I were to get up and start telling my opinions about transgender stuff in women's sports, it would not help the cause at all. So this is a fight for women only. And furthermore, the Democrats, the whole abortion issue, man, is a woman issue that men, as soon as they chime in on it, it makes the whole... And we're in a predicament. We are in a serious predicament here in this country. But men, women, everyone, we've got to stand up together against all of this, man. We want the government out of doctor-patient relationships. That's the answer. It isn't like we got to make a Roe v. Wade decision or we got to make the opposite of a Roe v. Wade decision. It doesn't mean every state should come in and say, you can't have an abortion. That's a doctor-patient issue. Okay, there are times when an abortion is necessary to save a woman's life. And you can't digest every single possible reality that would happen in a pregnancy. We got to leave this up to the doctors that are treating their patients and let them do and agree upon what that person, that individual, what their healthcare plan should be. And we would hope that they don't do an abortion because of moral reasons. We know that children are delivered by God. God knits them together in the womb himself. And that we would hope that they make this decision. But at the same time, everybody here is only responsible to themselves with their relationship with God, okay? And every single one of us has failed at that, you know? So we're here to learn lessons, man. We're here to understand our fallen nature, understand where wisdom comes from, understand what is wisdom, what is love. And these are all personal journeys that every single one of us goes on, man. Yeah, KA, it's not birth control, but it's not my decision. And if you, but it's a complex thing, man. Complex thing. No doubt about it. All right, Patriots, I got to get rolling here. I'm going to be at Freedom Corner tonight. I got one more day here with the Patriots on the corner, and then I'll be back for sure for the and I'm really, really looking forward to that. A lot of Patriots are coming in from out of town, And these are people I haven't seen in over a year now. So I'm really, really looking forward to that. And yeah, let's just stay in the battle. Do not disconnect, America. Stay in the battle. That's one of the things they want you to do, is to just disconnect. They want to bust your paradigm and make you think this is so much bullshit that I can't handle it, and just unplug. But no, patriots, stay plugged in, stay in the battle, figure out any way that you can fight, write a letter, donate money, start a YouTube channel, pick up a flag and go on a bridge, sit in front of your courthouse downtown with a sign. There's many, many things. Get creative, get witty, be peaceful, and we will persevere as long as we look to God to lay that path out for us and encourage us to walk down it in faith, man. All right, patriots, I love you all. We'll see you at Freedom Corner here shortly. This is Jericho, over and out.